Here is another home building project I will provide you with a little more framing information about. And you can see that it has a front porch and a rear laundry room with a gable roof. And not too difficult. And I believe it has about an 8 and 12 roof pitch with a fairly straightforward building foundation. I'm not going to put any rebar in here. And I'm also not going to spend a lot of time on certain parts of the construction, including the building foundation. So you can see here where we have the concrete slab and the porch slab with the footings. So here we have a single-story house, a living room, kitchen, laundry room in the back, 1 bathroom, and 2 bedrooms with a closet located in the hallway and a closet in each bedroom. So let's go ahead and take a look at the front here where we have a window and an entrance door along with a 2-inch step down between the top of the interior foundation and our porch. 2 inches is a common measurement, even though I'm starting to see building codes that are suggesting that this needs to be a little smaller. And I actually noticed that on one of the videos I did for a stair landing. Next up, since we are going to have a truss roof, you might need to install 1x4s here instead of 2x4s for your top plates. And I've been getting a lot of slack for this. Some people are saying, oh, I don't do that. Well, I've never came across a project where we didn't do it. So make sure you check with the truss manufacturer, because I'm not about to suggest that this is the only way to build this, but I am suggesting that it's the only way I have ever done it. And the reason for doing this is to provide a little bit of leeway just in case the truss roof needs to settle down a little bit lower than what would be provided if we used a 2x4. Next up, we have a bedroom closet, and then our bathroom door, along with a bedroom door, closet door, and another bedroom door over here. Another view of it there, along with our closet in the other bedroom. And then another area here that could actually be used for a forced air heating and cooling unit, if needed. Bathroom with a window that's high enough to be placed over our bathtub and shower combination unit. Another thing that you don't want to forget about. Next up, let's go ahead and pan out a little bit, take a look at the laundry room, back door to the house, and then of course this could be a door or an opening going into the laundry room. And it's not uncommon to see a door here that closes so that it can be shut to reduce any noise, unwanted noise coming out of the laundry room and then kind of going through the house. And a couple of windows and an upper view. Next up, let's go ahead and install our trusses. Now, we're not going to install the porch roof yet or the back roof, or should I say we're not going to connect it to the building yet until after we have installed our trusses. And you can see here where the ceiling on the porch will be lapping through. It will be tying into and connecting to each one of the roof trusses to provide us with a nice structural tie running all the way through to the front of the building. Now keep in mind that in our example, our trusses and our ceiling joists are spaced 24 inches on center. And if for whatever reason you need to shorten the spacing, then you can do that. Our porch beams, along with our posts, sitting on top of our base connectors and our concrete footings. Next up, let's take a look at the shaped blocks so that we can get some good roof sheathing nailing. And I would imagine at least 6 16D nails, if not a few more, to create a nice connection here between the bottom cord on the roof truss and the ceiling joist. Another view of it there. Let's go ahead and take a look at our pressure blocks. And you might need to use joist hangers here. However, I have been providing viewers with something that you might be able to use to save a few dollars, especially if you end up with some scrap lumber that you might not be using. And of course, you can install the rear gable trusses. Just don't install anything more until you have installed the roof sheathing and nailed it. Then we can go ahead and add our fill section later. order. And you don't have to build it in the order that I am providing you with. Just don't forget some of the information that I have provided you with, because the last thing I want to see you do is make any type of mistake that's going to cost you money. And of course, you will need to install ceiling backing for the drywall, and that can be done a variety of different ways, along with an access hole into the attic. And in a project like this, you might be able to make the access hole a little larger so that you can install a heating and cooling system in the attic. Another thing that you will definitely want to work out during the design phase. And of course, more backing here. We just nailed that backing to the truss. And this piece of backing was nailed flat onto the top of the framing plate. Again, providing you with another option to think about when building or designing your house. Next up, let's go ahead and install our fascia board, including all of the valley fill blocks like we have here. Definitely going to need one on each side, one over here. And the fascia board here is going to be plumb or vertically level fascia board, not square off of the rafters. And after we have done that, we can go ahead and install our roof sheathing. And for those of you paying attention, you can see where we have some ventilation holes here. And you might need to install a few more. They might need to be larger, or you might be able to make smaller ones and maybe more of them. But the last thing you want to do is cut a large hole and affect the integrity of the roof sheathing or the structural integrity. So let's not get carried away here. And another thing your structural engineer can specify on the building plans if they haven't already. Next up, let's go ahead and install our patio or our porch roof. And you can see why we needed to wait until we installed the roof sheathing. So not too difficult. Next up, let's install our fascia board around the porch and then our roof sheathing. Then let's take a look at the side here. I needed to rebuild this area a little different to get everything to work out how I wanted it to. However, your project might not require this type of design at the end of the porch. Next up, let's go ahead and head to the back. Take a look at our ventilation hole and access hole that we might need so that we can access this area here. Otherwise, we're going to need to install another access hole in this area. And that might not be that big of a deal considering it's just a laundry room. However, if you do not install an access hole, you still might need a couple of holes for ventilation to allow air to circulate between the attic over here and the attic over here. More things to think about when you're designing and building. Next up, let's go ahead and install the fill. And you can see here where the truss company has provided us with roof trusses so that we don't need to make our own fill, and hopefully the fill rafters work. I say hopefully because most of the time they didn't when I worked years ago. Then we'll go ahead and install the roof sheathing. And we are done with this project. And if you want to learn more about this house, let us know what sections, for example, maybe the roof framing, the sheathing, the front porch, wall framing, window installation, let me know. And I will definitely take it into consideration for making another video in this series.